In the headlines of VTV News, welcome banquet held to welcome China's General Secretary President Xi Jinping. ADB projects Vietnam's GDP growth to reach 5.2% in 2023. And later on in our world news, UN General Assembly votes in favor of Gaza ceasefire.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time, and this is VTV News broadcast live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Pham, and here's the top news of the hour. General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee, Nguyễn Phú Trọng, along with Vietnamese President Võ Văn Thưởng and their spouses, hosted a welcome banquet for General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and Chinese President Xi Jinping and his spouse Phang Liyuan on the evening of December the 12th in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. The event was also attended by Vietnamese Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, Chairman of the National Assembly Vương Đình Huệ, Politburo member and permanent member of the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee Secretariat Trương Thị Mai, who serves as the head of the committee's organization commission, and other leaders. The state visit to Vietnam by Chinese General Secretary and President Xi Jinping took place on the occasion of the two countries celebrating the 15th anniversary of establishing a comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership. The relationship between the two parties and the two countries, Vietnam and China, is a valuable asset that was established by President Ho Chi Minh, Chairman Mao Zedong, and other leaders. Both sides agreed to build a Vietnam-China community with a shared future, which holds strategic significance and is based on deepening the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership between the two countries. This is done for the happiness of the two peoples and for the peace and progress of humanity. On Wednesday morning, State President Võ Văn Thưởng and Party General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping held talks to discuss future cooperation between Vietnam and China. The Vietnamese State President expressed his belief that the state visit by the Party General Secretary and President of China would greatly enhance Vietnam-China relations, making them more effective and efficient. In response, the Chinese leader emphasized the success of his talks with Vietnamese General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, which resulted in important agreements and conclusions, including 6 areas of cooperation between the two countries' parties and states in the new era. State President Võ Văn Thưởng of Vietnam expressed his hope for increased exchanges and mutual assistance in national development, as well as fostering better understanding between the people of both countries, especially the younger generations. This will further strengthen the foundation for the development of relations between the two parties and states. On the morning of December the 13th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with Party General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính warmly congratulated and emphasized the significance of the state visit to Vietnam by Chinese Party General Secretary and President Xi Jinping and his spouse. This visit demonstrates the importance of Vietnam-China relations. The Prime Minister expressed his impression of the cordial, trusting, and profound exchanges at a strategic level, as well as the important common understandings reached by the two-party leaders of Vietnam and China during their meeting on December the 12th. In particular, China and Vietnam agreed to build a community with a shared future, which holds strategic significance. This is based on deepening the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership between the two countries. General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping congratulated the important achievements of Vietnamese people under the leadership of the Communist Party of Vietnam, headed by General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. He also expressed his belief that Vietnam will successfully implement the 13th National Party Congress resolution and achieve its aspiration of becoming a developed, high-income country by 2045. Also on Wednesday morning, during the talks between National Assembly Chairman of Vietnam Vương Đình Huệ and Chinese Party and State leader Xi Jinping, the National Assembly Chairman expressed his satisfaction with the important achievements and shared understanding reached in the talks between Vietnam and China's General Secretariats on Tuesday. To facilitate the realization of these shared understandings, the Vietnamese National Assembly Chairman suggested that the Vietnam National Assembly and the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China further enhance high-level exchanges and maintain communication at all levels, including specialized committees and friendship parliamentary groups. The Vietnamese leader also proposed continued coordination in establishing an open and favorable legal and policy framework. In response, Party General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping agreed with the proposal and extended an invitation for the National Assembly Chairman of Vietnam to visit China next year. On Wednesday morning, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ presided over the 28th session of the National Assembly Standing Committee. The committee discussed 19 topics, which included reviewing the summary of the National Assembly's 6th session, initial preparations for the upcoming 7th session, and diplomacy programs for 2024. Additionally, the committee considered adding several law projects to the 2024 Law and Ordinance Development Program. These include amendments to the Law on Prevention and Combat of Human Trafficking, the Law on Teachers, the Law on Value-Added Tax, the Law on Chemicals, and the Law on Management and Use of Weapons, Explosives, and Support Tools. The session also covered discussion on financing and budget, as well as resolution on the organizational guidelines for the Q&A session of the National Assembly's Ethnic Council. In another meeting held on Wednesday morning, the National Assembly Standing Committee discussed and voted to pass a resolution on the establishment of Viet Yên Town in Bắc Giang Province and Hậu Hiền Town in Thiệu Hóa District, Thanh Hóa Province. The total export turnover of agricultural, forestry, and fishery products nationwide in the first 11 months of the year is estimated at nearly $48 billion. The Chinese market accounts for the largest proportion, with an export value of over 23%. Durian exports to China are forecast to reach $2.3 billion this year, contributing to Vietnam's fruit and vegetable exports surpassing $5 billion in just 11 months. Currently, Vietnam has officially exported 13 agricultural products to China, including sweet potatoes, dragon fruit, longan, rambutan, mango, jackfruit, watermelon, banana, mangosteen, lychee, passion fruit, and durian. China has also become Vietnam's largest seafood importer, surpassing the U.S. According to the Asian Development Bank's or ADB report on Asia and the Pacific region's developing economies, Vietnam's GDP growth is projected to reach 5.2% this year and 6% next year. The ADB noted that Vietnam has implemented proactive and flexible monetary policies to effectively control the prices of gasoline, electricity, food, healthcare, and education, which has helped to keep inflation in check. Inflation in Vietnam is expected to remain at 3.8% this year and 4% next year. However, the ADB cautioned that the recovery may be weaker than expected due to external demand, which is hindering industrial and service growth and slowing down the improvement of employment and domestic consumption. The bank also predicted that the growth outlook for Southeast Asia this year will decrease from 4.6% to 4.3% as demand for export products weakens. Vietnam currently has a higher labor productivity growth rate than the ASEAN average and aims to be among the top 3 countries in the region by 2030. To achieve this goal, besides focusing on innovations in technology and businesses, it is crucial to refine policies and mechanisms as well as develop human resources to enhance productivity. The recently held National Productivity Forum extensively discussed various methods to improve labor productivity.
Thanks to automation technology, production lines can now be operated by one person instead of the previous requirement of 4 to 5 people. Strengthening technological advancements helps businesses increase labor productivity by 30 to 40%.
Technology can help us shorten redundant steps and save costs. It also helps increase labor productivity.
Attending delegates unanimously agreed that innovation is the key factor in boosting productivity, with digital technology serving as the primary catalyst. Furthermore, innovation efforts must align with environmentally friendly and sustainable practices. To achieve this, Vietnam should formulate targeted strategies for fostering growth factors and enhancing human resource development. It is also crucial to actively consider enterprises' proposals for enhancing productivity.
Policymakers need to understand the productivity of each unit and enterprise, as well as how to increase it. This understanding is crucial for developing initiatives aimed at increasing productivity. We can identify and implement multiple solutions that have the potential to enhance productivity at a national level, rather than solely focusing on a few specific projects.
We are aiming to introduce better institutional practices to help improve the quality of policy regulation. We are also implementing productivity training programs in universities, attracting 10,000 students. This will help them practice a productivity mindset. Finally, we will coordinate with localities to actively implement productivity plans at the local level.
Increasing labor productivity is crucial for achieving rapid and sustainable development. It also enables Vietnam to avoid the middle-income trap and narrow the gap with other countries in the region. By 2030, Vietnam aims to achieve an average annual social labor productivity growth rate of over 6.5%.
And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam đồng is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, businesses get ready for upcoming recycling regulations. And Quảng Nam promotes community-based tourism development. The Vietnam Hậu Giang International Rice Festival 2023 with the theme Centennial Journey of Vietnamese Rice commenced in the province of Hậu Giang in the Mekong Delta on December the 12th. Taking place over 4 days, the festival coincided with Vietnam's aspirations to become a pioneering nation in high-quality, low-emission rice production, as well as in green and sustainable development. During an online speech from Hanoi, Prime Minister Phie stated that 2023 is a year of both challenges and opportunities. Vietnam is the first country to initiate the 1 million hectare rice project, which aims to enhance the well-being of its people while also demonstrating its commitment to addressing climate change and promoting low-emission agriculture on a global scale. In the first 11 months of 2023, coffee exports earned $3.54 billion. Prices of Arabica coffee increased nearly 10%. Overall, coffee exports in the first 10 months of 2023 are projected to exceed $692 million, a 28% increase compared to the same period in 2022. With the global scarcity of a coffee supply pushing prices up, Vietnam is entering its harvest season, and the coffee industry expects a prosperous business season at the end of the year. Notably, Vietnam's processed coffee exports have seen a significant increase. Roasted ground and instant coffee accounted for about 90,000 tons, which is approximately 5.4% of the total coffee export from last year. The turnover reached about $510 million, accounting for about 12.5%. Currently, Vietnamese coffee is available in more than 70 countries and territories, making Vietnam the second largest coffee exporter in the world. Vietnam has started transitioning to exporting processed coffee, but currently only makes up 10% of total coffee exports. To increase this percentage, it is important to establish more areas for producing high-quality raw materials. A project that promotes the coffee production forest protection method is working to tackle this challenge. Implemented by the SNV Netherlands Development Organization in Lâm Đồng province, the project has successfully assisted local farmers in boosting productivity and achieving sustainable production.
The Arabica coffee harvest season has begun in Lat Commune. Yi Kung, a local farmer, is currently picking coffee cherries that are over 95% ripe. He learned the skill from a project aimed at increasing coffee production quality, which took place 4 years ago. Implementing this knowledge allows him to earn more profits.
Thanks to this picking method, coffee beans are sorted early, thus increasing the quality of the input materials. The price of coffee will also increase, and so will our income. The people are very happy that we can sell coffee at a better price to businesses, which brings the most practical value to farmers.
There are 500 households in Lac Dung district participating in the project. In Lat Commune specifically, there are 3 sustainable coffee production cooperatives that take care of 300 hectares of coffee trees meeting the 4C standard. 90 participants from the cooperatives receive training in sustainable and safe coffee farming techniques. Additionally, pre-processing machines are provided to add value to the coffee.
By following this method, farmers can double their coffee sales from $2.06 per kilogram to $4.53 per kilogram. We are educating more farmers so that they can join us. We also hope to attract not only one affiliated enterprise but also multiple domestic and foreign companies to support us.
Lat Commune's cooperatives sell an average of 600 tons of sustainable coffee to enterprises each year at stable prices. However, the most important aspect is that farmers are now recognizing the value of sustainable coffee production.
Starting early next year, manufacturers in Vietnam will be required to recycle their products as part of the Extended Producer Responsibility or EPR regulations. This initiative is expected to promote the circular economy. Enterprises in the country are actively taking steps to ensure compliance with these regulations.
Recently, intermediary groups have been assisting manufacturing businesses with voluntary recycling. In 2022, through the packaging recycling organization Vietnam Pro, manufacturers, including this company, collected and recycled over 3,000 tons of packaging waste. They are now considering paying a recycling fee for certain packaging types with the upcoming implementation of Extended Producer Responsibility, EPR.
Our last resort is to pay a fee. We prefer to collaborate with recyclers for the management of packaging and plastic waste. However, if certain types of packaging do not have adequate recycling systems, we will consider the fee option.
Regarding the recycling fee proposal, 14 business associations have expressed concerns that the suggested fee is high and could pose a financial burden, particularly during challenging economic times. Experts recommend that the regulatory body promptly develop a balanced plan to assist businesses in their implementation planning.
For Vietnam, of course, it is important for industry to understand if the platform is also being authorized as an intermediary authorization organization.
According to a survey conducted by the Institute of Strategy and Policy on Natural Resources and Environment 2 years ago, over 48% of businesses agreed to implement EPR. However, experts point out that businesses still have a limited understanding of specific recycling regulations.
The Vietnamese Ministry of Health is urging enhanced prevention of avian influenza following recent disease outbreaks in some countries in the region. To proactively prevent the spread of bird flu into Vietnam and its transmission to humans, the Ministry of Health recommends that localities strengthen strict supervision of travelers and immigrants entering the country. This will help in the early detection of suspected cases of the disease, particularly among those involved in poultry slaughter and trade. trade, as well as the handling of live poultry products. The health sector in cities and provinces should also enhance surveillance of acute respiratory infections, severe viral pneumonia syndrome, and influenza syndrome to promptly identify cases of influenza A, H5N1. In addition, it should be noted that the number of people infected with dengue fever and hand, foot, and mouth disease is still increasing in some areas. Therefore, people should exercise caution. Now, December the 12th was chosen as Pho Day back in 2017, becoming an important culinary cultural promotion activity contributing to elevating Vietnamese cuisine and spreading traditional Vietnamese pho to the world. More in the following.
The broth is delicious. The noodles are soft and chewy, mixed with the accompanying herbs. Those are the ingredients of a dish that entered the Oxford English Dictionary in September 2007, pho.
People consider a delicious bowl of pho that must have thinly sliced beef meat and clear broth. Later, chicken pho, goose pho, and duck pho with eggs were added. Vietnamese pho is now famous, becoming a Vietnamese dish known and accepted by the whole world.
Pho appeared in the early 20th century, experiencing ups and downs with Vietnamese people for more than a century. Over time, pho has become an ambassador, contributing to honoring Vietnamese culture.
And a lot of you suggested I go try the $100 bowl of pho. I am curious to see what actually goes inside a bowl of $100 pho. We're gonna go try it out.
With the $100 pho, we do something that's a really bit crazy. First, it's a bit of a shock to people. So we have probably the most expensive pho in the world right here in Saigon.
We have been using rice for thousands of years, and variations of rice have been changed and enhanced into very different dishes and products. We can see how today's rice grains developed.
Simple, elegant with a unique and attractive flavor, pho, a traditional Vietnamese dish, is praised and voted in the list of delicious dishes by major international newspapers and culinary websites such as CNN, Taste Atlas, and even Business Insider. Over the past 6 years, Pho Day has contributed to spreading the value of Vietnamese pho, as well as bringing Vietnam further on the map of world culinary.
The mountainous region of Quảng Nam is abundant in ecotourism potential. The province's recent efforts to attract investment have not only preserved the cultural identity of ethnic communities, but have also contributed to socio-economic development, assisting local residents in overcoming poverty.
Cơ Tu Cultural Village, located in Quảng Nam Province, preserves the unique values of the community. It serves as a venue for community activities and plays a role in educating the younger generation about the local traditional culture.
Preserving our traditions such as dances, brocade weaving, blacksmithing, and music is vital for tourism. This will enhance the well-being of the community, both spiritually and materially.
Each village preserves its distinctive local culture. Our district plans to invest in building community centers where tourists can stay and participate in activities.
Ecotourism areas in the Quảng Nam mountainous region are currently in need of additional support and investment for infrastructure, workforce, and tourism services. It is recommended to enhance ecotourism spots by constructing community centers, installing sculptures, and organizing traditional festivals.
We need to continue improving skills in weaving, brocade making, and local cuisine to better serve tourists. Our focus is on building a culturally connected community for tourism development.
Mountainous areas in Quảng Nam Province are expected to attract investment and form partnerships with neighboring regions. Additionally, there will be a focus on providing skills training for the local community involved in tourism activities.
Coming up next in our world news, UN General Assembly votes in favor of Gaza ceasefire. And Wall Street hits record high since early 2022. The United Nations General Assembly during its 78th session passed a resolution on Tuesday, New York time, calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. The resolution, sponsored by Egypt on behalf of the Arab group, received 153 votes in favor, 10 against and 23 abstentions. It urges all parties involved to cease fighting in Gaza and unconditionally release detainees. The emergency session of the UN General Assembly was held amidst ongoing conflict between Israel and the Hamas militant group, with no signs of de-escalation. The UN Security Council remains deadlocked in finding a unified course of action to address the crisis. The Wall Street stock market reached its highest level since the beginning of 2022 on Tuesday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at 36,577.94 points, with the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite indices also showing increases. The U.S. stock market received a boost after authorities released inflation data, which showed a slight decrease compared to October. However, the core inflation index, which excludes energy and food prices, remained stable. The U.S. stock market performed well as the Federal Open Market Committee, or FOMC, the policy-setting body of the Federal Reserve, entered its last meeting of the year. It is widely expected that the committee will maintain interest rates during the meeting. Temperatures across Spain broke records for December as a mass of hot air swept over the Iberian Peninsula on Tuesday. The mercury soared close to 30 degrees Celsius in the south, causing a delay in the start of the ski season. More details in the following story.
While climate talks are ongoing in Dubai during COP28, and as the Northern Hemisphere prepares for winter, Spaniards' hopes for a white Christmas are diminishing. This comes after a summer with 4 heat waves in the hottest year on record, which is part of a global trend of increasing temperatures that scientists widely attribute to human activity.
This is one of the warmest masses of air to have come over Spain at this point in December. At the moment, for this winter season, it does not seem that there will be significant snowfall in the coming days or more in the long term.
Visitors at the popular ski resort of Navacerrada, located outside Madrid, expressed their disappointment with the insufficient amount of snow.
It's a terrifying feeling because this should really be covered in snow or frozen over, but instead, it's green and lush for this time of the year.
There should be at least 1 meter of snow, and it should be almost impossible to climb up here right now.
Spain's weather agency forecasts that cooler air from higher latitudes will arrive. The unusually warm weather is expected to come to an end after Wednesday.
And up next is the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.